Y'all, today we're taking a deep dive into myths about social media that I haven't actually tackled before. Now, some of these you may have heard, but not in this way and not for travel advisors. So, let's take some weight off your shoulders and break down the myths so you can believe the truth only. Let's dig in. Welcome to the Social Takeoff Podcast, a podcast for travel professionals who are ready to use social media to help their business take off. I'm Kelli Smith, your host. I'm travel agent turned social media marketer who now works with multiple seven-figure travel agencies to help them infuse strategy and create a target social plan. I'll be sharing all of the tips and tricks of the trade, as well as content ideas and trends that you should be using to help grow your travel business. Let's get started. Hey y'all, I'm inviting you to the third annual Sales Summit from Wanderlust Campus. So you might know that I serve as Director of Marketing at Wanderlust Campus. Our CEO and founder, Cindy Williams, is so well known throughout the travel industry, and I love getting to be a part of the team over there. And every year we've had the Sales Summit so far, it has just been for the Wanderlust Campus community. So Careers on Vacation students and grads and Wanderlust CEO students have been invited, and they've been able to bring their teams. But it's not until this year that we have been able to open it to all y'all. And I am so excited to be speaking this year on marketing. So not only will you get to hear a marketing talk from yours truly, you're also going to hear a keynote speech from Cindy Williams, a mindset talk from Brandon Foster, a talk on accessible travel from Jamie Santillo, and how to use Wanderlust Social in your marketing from Jennifer Ormisher. And this is going to be an awesome time. So the Sales Summit is taking place next Monday, November the 13th from 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time till 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can purchase your ticket for just the live event, or you can purchase the live and the replay. And if you would, please use the link in the show notes to purchase your ticket. That'll let them know that you came from my podcast. And if you can't find the show notes and you can't find the link there, all you got to do is DM me on Instagram at Kelli Smith, and I will send you a personal invite. I really hope I can see you there. Hey, y'all. Okay, so it is November. I guess last Tuesday was also November. Is that right? No, last Tuesday was Halloween. Okay, so it is November. And we are into that season that we've been talking about. If you are a first-time listener, we're in the season where we're talking about pre-wave season marketing, not prepping for wave season per se. We're going to talk about that, but right now we're talking about pre-wave season marketing and how social media fits into that. We've talked about different things, but I feel like it's really important to talk about some of the myths that have been myths, lies, untruths that have been in my DMs, asking questions and things like that recently, because there are several of them that I have seen going around that I hadn't seen in a while or hadn't seen before. And I really wanted to clear that up as you're creating this marketing for your pre-wave season marketing. Oops, I hit the microphone. Sorry, y'all. For your pre-wave season marketing, I want to make sure that you are able to do and know that the content that you're putting out there and the things that you're hearing are true. So we're going to break down 5 of the myths that I have heard recently. Most of these are about Instagram. You can apply them to all social media for the most part. And we're going to talk about the five myths that I've heard the most recently. So, number 1, the more followers, the better. Now, that's the myth. I've heard it put in a lot of different ways. So I've heard it put well, I only have 300 followers, so there's no point in me doing that. Or only 10 people are watching my stories, so there's no point in doing that. I've gotten asked recently a couple times, do you think it would be good to do a follow for follow loop? FYI, the answer to that is always, no. No, please don't do that. So the more followers, the better. Let's talk about why that's not true. Number one, it's not true because the more followers you have, the higher your engagement rate needs to be. So if you have a high follower count, but they are not engaged in your content, it means number one, you're not talking to your ideal client, which is pointless because if you're not talking to your ideal client, then what's the point in talking to anybody? But number two, the algorithm is demanding that the more followers you have, the more people that are engaged. And so if they're not engaged, you're not getting that perk in the algorithm that you should get with those higher follower counts. And so it really is just like a sabotage instead. So you can buy followers, but that's not the purpose. I have seen successful businesses run on 300, 200, 100 followers. Like that follower count doesn't mean anything. Let that go. That is not something you need to worry about. So the more followers, the better is not true. What is true? The higher the engagement, yes. But if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, you should be. But if you follow me on Instagram, recently I posted about lurkers. So there's data that proves people that lurk are usually the buyers. So I think it's something like 50 to 60% of your buyers from social media will actually be people who have never engaged on your content before. So the engagement rate is important, but it's not the most important thing. The more followers is not important. So what am I going to say is important? It is who follows you. Are you reaching the right ideal client? Are you speaking clearly enough? Is your brand message messy or is it clear where your ideal client is finding you anywhere? They don't have to find you on social media, but your ideal client is finding you somewhere and then you are ending up, phone fell, sorry. And then you are ending up converting them over to a follower. So that your content is bingeable, that your ideal client loves your content and they follow along. Whether they engage or not, they're there. And that's really important. So, okay, that is number one. Number two, you have to post at peak times. This was a question asked me by a client the other day. And people always ask me what's the best time to post. I will tell you the best time to post. It's good content o'clock. Okay. Crap content will not, wait, that's not the way I want to say that. Posting at the right time will not save crap content. If the content is not good, it doesn't matter when you post it. So post it when it's good quality content, okay? And the same thing about the crap content, quality content is also consistency. If you are creating crap content because you are trying to create content so that you can post every day, you're not doing it right. Create quality content. And how often can you post consistently with quality content? If that's twice a week, if it's 3 times a week, that's fine. But show up with quality content. It doesn't matter what time of day you post it. I mean, if you look at your insights, and mine are relatively the same if I'm posting, after 9 a.m. and after 6 a.m. and before 9 p.m., the difference in the audience is so minimal that it doesn't really matter. And so I just try to keep my stuff in between there. But the time is so much less important than the content. Okay? That is what's actually important. So, you don't have to post at the right time. It's just good content o'clock. That's when you want to post. All right. Number three. This episode may be short, y'all. I'm sorry. But number 3, editing after posting will affect my reach. That is not true. If you misspell something and you want to go back in and edit it, if you forgot hashtags and you want to go back in and edit it. If you accidentally posted the wrong caption with the wrong post and you want to go back in and edit it. If you forgot to tag something and you want to go back in and edit it, it's not going to hurt your reach. It's not going to change anything. Nothing's going to start over. That's all false. You can edit it. It's not a big deal. So edit it away. That's really, really simple, but I just want to tell you that that's not true. Like, this one is going to be short. Sorry, y'all. Okay. This is number 4. Social media should produce enough leads for my business to sustain my business. I cannot scream loud enough. This is not true. From the marketing expert in me for travel professionals, I am only speaking to travel professionals when I say this. Other businesses, I have not taken enough deep dive into you to know whether that is true or not, but I can tell you with all the time, energy, and resources that I personally have poured into understanding marketing for travel professionals, your number one source of leads will probably never be social media. Now, there are some exceptions to that rule. Okay? If you built a true community or following early on, or you had a community or following prior to becoming a travel agent, that's different. And then you may just be the outlier. If that is where most of your leads come from, you may be the outlier. But in general, don't expect social media to be your number one source of leads. You cannot put all your eggs in social media's basket and expect your business to be maintained. We have talked about this before, but we're going to talk about it again because it's probably the most important thing. You have to have a well-rounded marketing plan. That includes things locally, that includes things in person, that includes email, that includes possibly ads. You don't have to run ads, but that can be included in there. You should be on one search site at the least. Like, put effort in Google, put effort on YouTube, put effort on Pinterest. Those 3 are search sites. That you have to be present on one of those for awareness sake if you are really trying to scale your business. You have to decide what it is that you want out of your business. If you are an agency owner and you want to grow, those things are absolutely imperative. If you are an agent in an IC and you are looking to grow your business, then you pare that back some, but you still will need those things. You will need email. You'll need to build client loyalty to you so that you get repeat clients and referral clients, because that is how you build a recurrent business model. And so all of those things are essential if you want. So don't think that I'm going to post on social media a couple times a week and that is going to be all I have to do to bring enough leads in my business to sustain it. Here's another myth. This is just a travel agent myth, but understand that never, ever, 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 ever will sorry, y'all. So I thought somebody was pulling my driveway. That's what happens when your office faces like the road and the driveway. When people who you don't know pull up to the end of the cul-de-sac and start looking like they're going to pull in your driveway. It's like, hey, who are you? Anyway, this is a travel agent thing, not just marketing. You also can't expect that friends and family are going to sustain your business. If you are a hobbyist, friends and family may be enough and warm leads. But if you are wanting to grow a business, friends and family will not sustain your business, and social media posting cannot be your only marketing strategy. Okay. And last but not least, myth that there is some secret formula for growth, that you post 6 stories a day and twice on your grid, 1 live per week, 7 reels, and that's how you grow. That is not true. Okay. There is no silver bullet. There is no secret formula, but accept this. And this is the only secret formula out there. Stomach's growling, y'all. This is the only secret formula out there. Consistency. And it is not short term. It is not 6 weeks of consistency. It is months of consistency. We usually say that social media is an investment in 6 to 12 months in the future. That is when you start seeing it. Being consistent, remaining consistent, and staying the course will pay off. But you have to stay the course. Do what you can do in the time that you can do it. If you have questions about how to, if you have questions about any of this, of course, I want you to get into my DMs and talk about it. But there is no secret formula. You don't listen to someone who says you have to post this and you have to post that in order to grow. That's not true. The tried and true is to remain consistent over the long haul, put out solid quality content, and speak to your ideal client. That is what will lead to business growth. We're not talking about social media growth and followers. Again, you can buy followers. We are talking about actual content that will lead to business growth, not social media growth. Okay. Now that I got that off my chest, I want you all to come hang out with me in my DMs. Come hang out with me on Instagram. You heard the ad for it earlier, but don't forget that Monday is our sales summit. I am talking about, a bunch of people have asked me what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real role that social media plays in your business. And actually from that, social media should produce enough leads to sustain your business. If you want to learn more about that, you got to come to the sales summit and hear it, because we're going to talk about the real part that social media plays in your business. It's going to change how you think about social media for your business, and it's going to change how you use social media for your business. So it's going to be awesome. I am headed this week to Disney for a content creation workshop. That is now closed for registration, but if you want to join me in January, the link should be up. I come home Sunday. The link should be up next week so that you can start registering for January. If you have questions about that, you can jump in my DMs as well. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelli Hayes Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday for a bonus episode, 5 Things Friday, and every Tuesday for a brand new episode. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelli Hayes Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday.